Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tottenham Tantrum Gold, your home of classic matches, classic debates, and of course, classic Tottenham. I was supposed to be finding Kuva this morning, but he has gone completely missing, as always, and Dermot's taken a couple of days off just to sort things out with himself. So we all wish Dermo a speedy recovery, and hopefully he gets better soon. We are going to be going through this morning on this Kauffie Morning trademark about Tottenham are playing Manchester City this weekend, which is going to be an utter massacre from at least my point of view. We're going to go, what do Tottenham have to do to beat Manchester City or to even look somewhat like a football team? We're going to be going through all that. And also talk about, is the bogey team thing still a thing? Is Sonny going to do his usual against Manchester City? We're all going to find out. Let's welcome to see who is in the chat this morning. My swimming buddy, Mr. Anthony Gray, is in the building. He's saying the Spurs days, late 70s, 80s, used to be a Spurs employed maintenance man, used to tell me lots of stories. Once he was sent over to the house in Cheshunt to unblock Aussie and the Villa's toilets. Good stuff. He's also saying the maintenance men used to play against the reserve side. My dad in goal, one of the Spurs players, my dad, and it felt like a ball kicked so hard. He was like a young Gary Brook. Anthony's also saying, I can't imagine that happening nowadays. The staff playing friendlies against the players, lol, all of them stand in them days. The teams never, they've got nothing to do with the fans these days. It's really sad to see. He also saying, I remember all the staff had their own match plus every they were given 2 guest tickets. I was too young to take advantage, but yeah. Mr. John Fitzpatrick is in the building. Lovely to see you in here, John Fitzpatrick, as always. Celery Agent is using his AC/DC brain today. He's going, oi, oi, oi. He's also saying, I hope you find Kuva. I hope I find Kuva as well, because luckily Dermo's joined, even though he said he wasn't going to be here this morning. So we're going to.
No, I'm only here for a few minutes. I wanted to come on, basically, Ben, and make a public apology to Sean Butler. I was on the stream last night. I had a bit of an outburst, and I said something I shouldn't have done. So I wanted to come on and make a public apology to him. I'm very sorry for what I said, and there was no excuse for it. So yeah. So I just wanted to say that I'm taking a few days off. I probably won't be back for about a week or so, but I'm leaving you the capable hands of this man next to me, as well as Kuva99 and Phil Latez, and I will return when I'm better, because at the moment I'm not feeling too well, so I'm taking a break from everything.
Yeah, as much time as you need, Dermo. Everyone on the channel supports you, and everyone makes mistakes at the end of the day. We all have mental outbursts. Even me, I have mental outbursts. So what we've got to do is we've got to support each other. We do realise this community is a massive family. We all love each other. We just need to... We're frustrated at the moment because the team are playing so poorly and everything's going wrong. So things are about to happen. Family members clash all the time, so it happens. So just take care of yourself, Dermo, and you'll be back right as rain very, very soon.
But listen, everyone love each other, look after each other, and Kuva, wherever you are, I hope you're okay, man. But please get on here because Benny Boy needs your help. And go on, Ben, you can take me out. You know what you're doing.
No problem, Dermo. I will see you.
Love to all, and come on, you Spurs. And don't forget, like, subscribe. Let's get up to 400 before the end of February.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, I will see you later, Mr. Dermo.
See you later, brother.
Okay, Dermot's hijacked the stream, but we're going to go on. We're going to go with a Tavakron Wembley 1. Good morning, guys. Great to have you back on mid-morning. Just 54 hours until Spurs' very first own reenactment of the Alamo gets underway, or maybe the Siege of Mafeking. I think it's more like going to be the Battle of the Somme, to be honest. It's going to be a bloodbath. Stevie Cartwright's here. Good morning to everyone. Hope you are all well. I'm doing well, Stephen. I am doing very well this morning. Bit of brain fog, but I've got my cup of coffee and I am ready to go, sir. We are going to talk about this stuff. Stephen Cartwright is also saying, I've missed the show the last few days. Yeah, no problem. I mean, you can't be in here every day. People have got lives to live. They've got families to feed. They've got to look after themselves. Deza Hutchinson is in the building. Good morning, Derek. Lovely to see you. Good stuff. Tavakron Wembley 1 is saying 3-6-1 formation on Saturday. Flood the midfield, our only chance. Yeah, we'll be talking about that when we get through these comments. Wayne Bonner is in the building. Good morning, Wayne. Lovely to see you in here as always. Hope you are doing well. Sod's Law, we turn up at the Etihad and we walk away with 3 points. Lol, 2-0 Tottenham. Come on, you Spurs. Delusion Pit is back, ladies and gentlemen. Delusion Pit is back, but it's probably not going to be delusional this weekend. I'm going to be very, very, very realistic with myself. And if we do turn up, I'll be proud for them. Stevie Cartwright said, did anyone see Manchester City in the CL? Yeah, we did. They were absolutely brilliant, weren't they? It's a real worry. Celery agent saying, big up Dermot, take it easy, bud. Yeah, we all hope he takes it easy and we will see him very soon. Tavakron Wembley 1. Talking of ACDC, Levy's mission could be, well, dirty deeds done dirt cheap. That's good. Always repeat the same comment. Most applicable, I say, yeah. Good one, Tavakron Wembley 1. Yeah, it's a good one. Stevie Cartwright saying, do we have 6 midfielders? No, we do not. We're going to have to get the kit men out at this rate. So, yes, as I remove that comment, Manchester City this weekend, very difficult football match for this Tottenham team. But what can we do? Manchester City are on top form at this moment in time. They have hit flying form. We watched them in the Champions League last night against Sporting Lisbon. It's a 5-0 win. A 5-0 win. They were utterly brilliant. But it's what happens when you invest in your football team at the end of the day, and when you have infinite money and you've got a brilliant coach like Pep Guardiola who's backed, and all the chessboard is in the right place to do it well. But in terms of Manchester City, we are their bogey team. There's always a glimmer of hope. There shouldn't be with this Tottenham team because they are useless. But there is always a glimmer of hope. But if they turn up, we can at least get a draw out of this game. We've proven this season that even with a rubbish team, we can get points off of Manchester City. All they've got to do is they've got to perform. They've got to turn up. What will we see? Will we see the 3-4-3 still in effect? I don't think so against Manchester City. And the real question is, will there be people? Will there be enough depth in the squad? Will Eric Dyer be fit? I don't think so. I haven't seen the team news because I've been too busy knitting or something along those matters because I'm so dejected from this football team. But yeah, so Manchester City, unbelievable football team, unbelievable coach, unbelievable setup they've got. It's about time this ownership started backing our manager because he clearly didn't in January. Yes, we got rid of some of the deadwood, but there's a lot to be desired right now. There's a lot. So we're going to read some of these. We're going to read some more of these comments because the comments are flying in, ladies and gentlemen. Kane is going to see literally none of the ball on Saturday, so why not rest him and let young Dane Scarlett run around and chase down a few lost causes? Harry Kane's going to have a point to prove this weekend against Manchester City to say, why didn't you spend the 150 million on me this summer? Because it would have got him, realistically, if they had paid the 150 million for Harry Kane. So he's going to want to prove something that he is worth 150 million. So don't be surprised if Harry Kane gets a couple of goals this weekend. Do not be surprised. I'm still very worried about our defence. The attacking players are not what's the problem with the team. The problem is the defence. They are a joke. They wouldn't know defence if it hit them square in the face. Anthony Gray is saying, the last time I went to the Spurs, the front pair were Garth Crooks and Steve Archibald, and it cost me £1.10 to get in. Have I missed much since? Joke. No, you have not missed anything. You have not missed anything. We've shown we're not even a football club anymore. And in the words of Keith Birkinshaw, there used to be a football club there once, and there isn't now. Now we're a team that prioritises off-field matters, and not good off-field matters. We're a team that prioritises different sports over football. Ridiculous, really, isn't it? Tottenham Hotspur going for the Super Bowl in 2026, when we've got, as I said the other day, this football team is so thin, it's like a Tesco ham sandwich. That is how thin it is. Let's read some more of these comments. Celery Agent said, loved Archibald. Yeah, Steve Archibald. What an unbelievable football player he was. Anthony Gray saying, Dyer back in training, so hopefully he'll play against City. Yeah, we need Eric Dyer in that team. We need him because it is proven to us that the only person that can communicate to the entire defence is Eric Dyer, because he can speak all those languages. And it's the reason he gets picked, because he can speak Spanish to Romero. He can speak English to Davis. He can speak Spanish to Reguilon. He can speak Portuguese to Emerson, or to whoever's on that right wing back slot. As much as I don't want Emerson to play or speak bullshit to Doherty, for that matter, he's the only person that can communicate to that entire team. And it's why he's so prevalent in that team. So we need Dyer in that team. Sonny loves a goal against City. Yeah, he does. But it's whether we can defend. That is the problem. City did a Levy on Levy back in the summer. Poetic justice in a way. It is, but it is. It's crazy, really. I mean, if they wanted Harry Kane with 150, they would have. I think they burnt their bridge with Jack Grealish. I thought they could get both of them for 200 million, but then it failed. I think they would have rather have got Harry Kane and no Jack Grealish, but hey ho, we can only say ifs if it happened. The fans used to call him Itchy Balls. Sorry if that offends anyone. I used to wonder if Archibald ever realised it's just assumed our English yeah. Archie was a great lad. I think he would have thought that was quite funny, really. Dyer's been out quite a few weeks, so it's a lot asking him to step back in, start and be 100% effective. But what isn't the alternative? There isn't one. Because Sanchez is a donkey. At the end of the day, he is useless. But again, Sanchez plays a lot better when Dyer's in that team. Sanchez is useless, but he looks like half a footballer when Dyer's in that team. Because again, they can communicate. There's communication is very important. Even if you're not the best team, if you've got the best communication and work ethic, it can really work. Tavakron is now saying, Archie did love a good scratch. I remember that. But the shorts were a lot tighter in those days. Yeah. And I don't expect to get anything from the City game. So I'm hoping I'm proved very wrong and we'll get a pleasant surprise. Yeah. It's the only thing we can hope for, Anthony. This team, it's at the end of its days. It's been long past the funeral. It's that stage where you can smell the dead body in the apartment next door. That's how bad it is. It's awful. It is terrible. It's a terrible football team. They are hopeless. They are gone. And Atavakron is saying would rather see Rodon get a chance instead of Sanchez. Yeah, I agree. I'd rather have him in there. Sanchez is. It's now the goose has already been. It's already been cooked with Sanchez. He's just useless. I mean, yeah. And I was someone that really used to give a lot of support to Sanchez, but he's shown again he's a total liability in that team. So, what do Tottenham have to do to beat Manchester City? I can only see one thing. Is we put 10 men behind the ball and then hit them on the break. That's the only thing I can see. Play a 3-5-2, flood the midfield, with whatever bit of driftwood we've got in that team and flood the midfield and hit them on the counter. It's the only thing I can see us doing, really, at the weekend. We do look a shadow of ourselves. So we're not even a shadow of a shadow, really. It's deeply distressing for me as someone that goes to this team every week. But the only thing I can see is if you expect disappointment, you're not going to be disappointed. So if we can't pick ourselves up, we're gonna go to the game and see what happens, as in the words of Danny Blanchflower. I would really like to see us try and put a performance in. Even if we lose, if we put a performance in, I'll be happy with that. I just want to see a performance and see players actually trying for the shirt, trying for the fans that are going to be travelling all the way to Manchester. It's a long drive, 3-hour drive from London to Manchester. I just want to see some effort. And I don't see any effort in this team, especially from those defenders. We'll see. I'd get a game up if I knew how to share the screen, but we're not. We're just going to talk with you fine. What do you guys think we have to do to get some glimmer of hope into this football team? What do you think you guys need to do? Except for pray. I think praying is probably the only option we have. Yeah, it's going to be a real problem. Manchester City they're gonna wreck us for the most part. They're going to destroy our midfield. They're fine on all cylinders, and then some, and then some. They've got nitrous oxide flowing. They've got the V8 purring. They are going to massacre us. That is going to be bad. It's always going to be a worry. So they're saying hire hitmen. We do have a hitman. We do have him. We just need him to do his work. Derek is saying play a 4-5-1 and park the bus at City. Yeah, it's the only thing we can do, really. Celery is saying rent a dinosaur. Yeah, maybe. At least someone might laugh. I think you said it, Ben. Basically, yeah, flood our midfield. It's the only thing we can really do. But will flooding the midfield really work at Manchester City? Because their players are so much better than ours. They just play around us. It might even be better just to flood the forward line, just to give them something to worry about. So if we do get the ball, we just hit it. We just lump it. Who do we play? Do we play Lucas Moura? Lucas Moura, in my opinion, has been useless these last 3 weeks. He's looked absolutely shocking. Sonny just hasn't looked totally fit, but I think that will change this weekend. I think with a couple of games under his belt, as my next door neighbour honks. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I apologise if you did. Who do you play? Do you play Stevie Bergwijn and maybe play a different player and try and hit them? We might have to. We've got a real problem on our hands this weekend. But I've been wrong before. Ryan McFarland is calling from lovely Derry. Morning, Ben. I think I'm going to skip the game on Saturday so I can enjoy my weekend. Too bleeding right. It's going to be absolutely awful. It's going to be absolutely terrible. Stevie Cartwright said, how do you think Levy feels when he sees us getting humiliated every week? Hopefully, he backs up his ideas, but he won't. He's a stubborn man at the end of the day. He is incredibly stubborn, and I don't think he will change. And that is the problem. He will not change. And the last thing I hope he does, because if Conte is not the manager soon, it's all his fault, and we've got to get them out. Conte is the one last chance we've got to get some goodness out of this football club. And I'm very worried about I'm very worried about what's to come. It's going to be a real problem. Yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath. Tabacron is saying, if we play our normal game, we will get destroyed. This should be treated as a free hit and completely park the bus / different game plan. Hoof the ball clear every time it comes within 30 yards. Yeah, I agree. We've just... it's going to be a real problem. Ryan is saying, Levy doesn't care because he is not a fan. Yeah. One of the things I say about our deepest rival, Mr. David Dean, when he was the chairman of them lot down the road. Oh, I'm getting a call. Brian, do you mind jumping on Tottenham Tantrum Goal quickly with me? Because I...
can do it really quickly, so I'm going to ask my nephew when he's about to do it very quickly.
God bless you, Aki.
I'm coming on my phone because my nephews are using my tablet, so I'll be with you in 2 secs.
No problem, Brian. I'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. We are going to have a guest this afternoon. We're just going to wait for him. I've sent him the link. And 7-2 to City with 6 VAR goals scrubbed. Spurs win 2-1. That's the delusion we need, Celery. Big up to Celery for giving me some sort of hope. But yeah. So it's going to be a real problem this weekend. And we are going to introduce our guest. He's saved me. I'm absolutely umming and erring trying to figure out stuff to say. So this man needs no introduction. He's my brother. He's the hero of myself. He's a hero of Tottenham Tantrum Gold. He's the hero of the Tottenham community. It is Mr. Brian Daigle himself.
Buddy, just very, very quickly, I can't hear you. I don't know what's happening with my phone. I'm going to sign out and come straight back in, okay? Give me 2 seconds.
No problem. No problem. Oh. We're just going to leave Brian's thumb on the screen because even his thumb is still going to give us viewers. What a legend Mr. Brian Daigle is. Absolute legend of the Tottenham community. Could you imagine the piss that would be boiled, Celery Agent? Yep, I'd love to see it. Oh. There we go. Can you hear me, Aki?
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do when you put your audio up on your phone. It's incredible when you take it off of mute. It's unbelievable. How you doing, Ben, brother?
I am good. I'm running the stream for one of the first times on my own, so it's a bit nerve-wracking, but we're talking about this awful game at the weekend. But it's been brighter that my Aki is here just before Shabbos to give us some good wisdom from the words of Rabbi Akiva. How are you doing this morning, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm looking, as I said to you just before, I've got with my nieces and my nephews, only 2 of them at the moment. My sister's taking the big 3 out, but Levi's got chicken pox, so I'm having to look after him.
Yeah.
And Sophie is just wanted to watch Peppa Pig over and over again, so I've just got the Peppa Pig theme tune in my head all day. So apart from that, we're all good. How are you and how's everyone in the chat?
Everyone is doing good, I think. We're all being very pessimistic, apart from Celery Agent. Celery Agent says we're going to get 6 VAR goals chalked off for Manchester City this weekend, and we're somehow going to do a job. But it's very worrying, isn't it, this weekend?
Oh, ridiculously. It's, do you know what? It's kind of, there's a spiraling thing that's happening. I mean, you look at it, the transfer window, let's call it saga, the protest against him. Then you go into it. We had a good win against Brighton, then an appalling game against Southampton, where we were bright in patches. But the day after, the Y word, whole thing stirred up. Then on Sunday, we had another pathetic, one of the most worst, especially the first half, one of the worst 45 minutes I've seen in a long time. Then we had again the Y word.
Yeah.
Then we had day before yesterday, the we've announced our Southeast Asia and South Korean tour 5 months early. Maybe if we did that with transfers, we wouldn't be in this mess. And then yesterday we had the Conte comments, which have obviously blown up. And I've even seen on TalkSport say they're doing a piece. I haven't watched it, all about Conte and whether his heart's in it and everything. It's just the same old thing, Ben.
It's, I mean, we're not going to go on to the Y word because that needs a much bigger stream and it needs a much more planned thing. But in terms of the Conte comments, the man's absolutely spot on. Man, it's almost like he's Moses parting the Red Sea for the world to see. There's only one problem at this football club. There's always ever been one problem at this football club for the last 21 years, and it is the person at the top.
Yeah,
if you cannot back this manager, what are you doing?
So Ben, you got to look at it. If we go back to Pochettino said the famous quote, "We have the dream house. We now need to get the furniture in." Wasn't listened to. Jose Mourinho took a hell of a lot of slack from his first interview he did for Tottenham TV or for Spurs TV, whatever you want to call it, saying, "I love this squad. I could do things with this squad," and he got called out for lying.
Yeah.
And now we've got Conte, who's telling us exactly how it is, and people going, "How dare Conte do this?" I don't know what kind of. I understand. I don't understand the methodology behind some of the Spurs fans where you back Poch and say, "Yeah, Poch was right. We didn't listen to him." Then no, Mourinho was a liar. We hate Mourinho with everything he did when he called it out exactly the same as Mourinho, as Poch. And now Conte's doing what we all said he'll do. When he comes in, he will call a spade a spade. He will tell us how it is, whether it's directly through these kind of cryptic messages or whatever it is. And now we've got a manager that's doing it and showing us, I've seen it. A lot of us have seen it all along, but now he's coming out. We knew he was going to do this, and you can already see the narrative. How dare Conte do this? Or if Conte walks, it's because he does this at every other club. It's again deflected away from the issue it is. I don't know what we need to do. I don't know what a manager needs to come out and say or how a manager needs to act, because we're not happy when we back Poch. We're not happy when Jose lies. And now some people are not happy that Conte is doing what we all knew he was going to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think there is a victim mentality at Tottenham Hotspur, and it stems from one man, Daniel Levy. Yep. He's allowed mediocrity to be a thing, and people love mediocrity. It's all become the journey and not the destination. That was never Tottenham. Never, ever, ever, ever. And now he's made it a widespread opinion that the journey is all that matters. The journey is part of the history, but it's not what you remember at the end of the day. My dad used to tell me about when we used to win FA Cups and when we used to go to Europe, and now all we remember is when we did well in Europe that one time, but wearing a stupid brown kit. That's not That's not memories.
Well, you've got to look at it as well. You look at this top four race, okay? And I said all along, I don't think we're going to get it. And you know what? If we do get it, and we don't get the big summer that comes every summer, we are going to be annihilated in Europe in the Champions League.
Yeah,
we will get absolutely. If it's the same kind of squad with a couple of tinkers here and there, it could be embarrassing. Yeah. It could be highly embarrassing. If we'd got a couple of more players in of quality, of genuine quality, then you're talking top four. Then you're talking players that could go, okay, maybe we could do something. I've used this quote recently. If you look at it, peak Poch, okay? Just our defence. Right back, Walker, Trippier. Great players, rotating, brilliant. Central defence, the best partnership we've seen in the Premiership era, bar none, in Alderweireld and Toby, and also the possibility of Eric Dyer. Yeah. And at one point, Kevin Wimmer, but Kevin Wimmer's not nothing, but we can mention him, especially in his first season when Vertonghen was injured.
Yeah.
He did very well. And then you got Rose and Davies. Yeah. Now that's 6 or 7 players where you could say 6 of them were incredible during that period. Now you look at our defence now. You have Romero, who is obviously leagues above everyone else. Dyer, who has been consistently our best defender, let's be serious this season. And then the rest of the central defenders are Sanchez, who I have been a fan of and well documented, but the last 2 games has been horrific. Roden, Tanganga, if you kind of want to put him there. Then you've got Emerson and Doherty and Reguilon and Sessegnon. So we've gone from having 6 to 7 great defenders to having 1 out of 10 or 9, whatever way you want to do the maths. And this is what we've got to deal with. And people are saying, "Oh yeah, that's squad depth." We've got the depth. It's just we have about as much balance in our team as Stevie Wonder has 20/20 vision.
Yeah. We're going to get through some of these comments, Brian, but it's absolutely spot on. You're completely and utterly spot on everything, as usual. So Anthony's saying at the end of the season, I think goal difference will play a big say in the top 4. So what happens? We mustn't let in too many. But that is the problem. We can't defend.
Yep.
Derek is saying big up to Brian.
Big up, Derek, brother.
Sellers is saying Brian matey.
Love that man.
Ryan is saying doing a good job. Hopefully I am. I'm trying. Big up, Graham. Lovely to see you.
Graham?
Morning, Ben and Brian. Lovely to see you, Graham. Stevie Cartwright is saying, waiting for a court appearance and you know you're going down in a few years. Yep. As he's saying, damage, limitation, goal difference, and just hope we can get our break and our players keyed up for a match and then hope. I mean, hope is all we've got at this moment in time, but there isn't much of it. Derek is saying Conte is walking at the end of the season. I don't think so. I think we're going to panic. I think we're going to panic and give him what he wants. But it's only panic. It's not proactive. That is the MO of Daniel Levy. Reactive and not proactive. And people like Conte don't like reactive. They like things to be controlled, almost sterile. They like control. They like plans. Daniel Levy doesn't like a plan unless it's for the Super Bowl.
I mean, the one thing I'll add on to that, if we do what you say, Ben, and we panic and we give him what he wants, people don't be fooled. It'll be a one-time thing.
Yeah.
It won't be right, this is how we're going to operate now. It's going to be, once again, I'm going to shut you guys up just for a little bit by doing what is needed. And again, it comes down to, if he's backed, is he back? There's 2 different types of backing. Is he back with the players? If he says, I want X, Y, Z, does he go and get X, Y, Z at all costs? And I don't mean cost financially. I mean at all costs to give him what Conte wants. Or when he's going for X, Y, Z, do we get A, B, C, which are the same players, but a lot cheaper, but more quantity rather than quality, and then it'll revert back to type. It's what we've always done.
I mean, would it be possible if Conte does stay that he in summer would get a brand new contract and says, I need X, Y, and Z players, and if you don't give me that, you pay me off and I walk? Because that's the only way I can see Antonio Conte staying, that he gets a brand new contract for more money and he gets those promises in black and white, because I think those promises are already in black and white from what I have been told in my ear. Those promises are already in black and white. But does he need assurances? Does he physically need it in black and white? Otherwise, he's just going to walk.
So if I was Antonio Conte, I would get my contract written in every single language possible and hire a lawyer from every single language possible just to make sure there's no loopholes. Just so he knows, right, I've got plenty of backup, because we all know what he thinks of agreements and whatever. When Conte took this 18 months with the option of 18 months, I was trying to break this down and trying to work out, is this the way Conte structured it, so he's got to get out? Or is it the way Levy has structured it, so he's got to, if he asks for like so much money and whatever? And I still can't put my finger on which one has gone for. I'm trying to think. Is it Conte, because Conte can say, right, after 18 months, if I'm not back, that's 3 transfer windows. Ta-da, I'm gone. Or is it? I can't put my finger on who's structured the deal that way. It could be a mutual decision, but I think it's one or the other, and I just can't put my finger on who. But you got what I said as well with January. We've got to remember, it wasn't even just about giving Conte the players it wants.
Yeah.
It was showing Harry Kane, these are the players we're bringing in.
Yeah.
This is what is coming up in the future. We're doing it this time. This is here to impress you. Because at the end of at the end of May, if we're not in Europe or won the FA Cup, unfortunately, I think we all know what's coming.
Yeah, it's a real problem. Do you think it might possibly be a Paratici style deal, that he's gonna a rolling thing? Because it does scream Italian deal, 18 months with an option It does scream it. So
Do
maybe
you know
it's
what?
a strategy thing. But at the end of the day, Paratici is an employee. If Levy wants to rip up his thing, he will do it because Levy is a control freak.
I have to admit, Ben, you've raised a very, very good point. Because not once had I entered Paratici's involvement in that deal.
Because he was the reason Conte's here, not Levy.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. But when we're talking Paratici now, it kind of makes more sense the way we were just talking about the way the deal is structured. What you've just said puts me inclined to go for secret option C. I was thinking option A and B. I think you found the answer. It could be. I mean, what do we know? But there's just something not right. Like I said, I think this Conte interview that we saw yesterday is going to be the first in like monthly installments.
Yeah.
Of him, because if you look at it, I was joking about with it yesterday, and I tweeted it saying, "Oh, isn't it ironic that Tottenham once again could announce their Asian tour and South Korean tour 5 months early?" But yeah, and then I tweeted Spurs and said, "Well, that's very good. How about you start preparing for transfer dealings, transfer windows 5 months early?" Conte sending shots. He is sending shots to say, "Listen, this is what's needed. This is what's done. This is what we need to get out of this pickle you've got us in." And hopefully he's listened to.
I mean, this Conte interview is the equivalent of smelling a dead body in the apartment next door to you. It's not just rotten. It's now obvious that it's there. There's now a dead rat under the floorboards, and everyone can smell it. What are we going to do about it?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If it does happen, mate, I might as well get a divorce, because when I tell my wife Conte's gone, I'm going back to England to do you know what, she'll probably go, "Don't come back." But I joke when I say that. But yeah, I mean, it's just sad times at Spurs. It really, and it's so. It doesn't matter. The amount of people, I don't know, I can't see the comments in the chat because I'm on my phone, but I don't know. Yeah, there's people probably from all across the world right now in the chat, all parts of the globe. As far as Australia, obviously, with celery agent. We've got people. What's up, my man? Another one that was at the protest with me. Big respect for this guy. There's people, and it's sad. It's sad to see what this. It's like sometimes just to cheer me up, and it winds me up at the same time. Is I go back and watch that video that Trigger does the voiceover when this is Tottenham Hotspur, just to remind me of times like this great channel does. But then when you hear what Trigger's saying, or Roger Lloyd Pack, as he's better known, well, actually probably better known as Trigger, but yeah, Roger Lloyd Pack being his real name. But you hear what he's saying, the tricks, the flicks, the 30-yard free kick. We are Mabba Perryman. Oh, hello, Levi. My tablet's broken. Yeah. Sorry, my nephew's just come. Okay, do you want to say hello to Ben? Come on, he's running over. Okay, come and say hello to everyone. Say hello.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
Say, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, Spurs.
There you go. Right, Ben, give me 2 seconds. Let me sort the tablet out, and I'll be right back. All right.
See you in a bit, Aki.
2 secs. 2 secs.
So we're going to read some more of these comments, but it's lovely to see Brian on. He'll be back. That's for sure. Atavakron is saying, a season out of Europe would do us good, actually. It would firstly serve Levy right and then lessen the workload on what is bound to be yet another wafer-thin squad. Yep, I have totally agree with you at the moment. Andrew Bailey is in the house. Hopefully you're getting better, Andrew. Everyone here is behind you, and hopefully you're doing well. Atavakron is also saying, I can only think of financial assurances to Antonio Conte can only be back of this rumour. New investment. It certainly won't be ENIC themselves financing it. Totally agree. Ryan McFarland is saying, Warren is them seeking investment. They have been seeking the stadium naming deal for 3 years, so investment will be even longer. Yeah. Derek Hutchinson is saying, Levy is going to do nout, and Conte will walk leopards. Leopards don't change their spots, do they? No, they don't. And that's what we need. We need Conte to really show this board, this ownership, how a real club is run. As the sunlight comes in, talking about the Lord and Saviour that is Antonio Conte. And Celery is saying, little champ indeed. So, yeah. It's a deep worry with the Conte interview. we'll be looking out for it in terms of allowing see what Conte is doing, because Conte does not do something without making a plan. He would not have done this without telling the club that he's doing this interview. And I think Paratici must be totally on board as well, just to give a little hint to the bigwigs. This is how a football club is run. I don't want to give Paratici full credit at all, because he doesn't deserve it at this moment in time, as much as I love the guy. But we're going to bring Brian back on the stream. But I was alluding to before, do you think possibly Conte and Paratici might be sowing the seeds to tell Levy? Because that's what it tells me, that Conte and Paratici have a plan. Like they are desperately trying to show the bigwigs at the board.
Yep.
This is how football clubs run. That's what it tells me, that Conte, because he would not have done this interview without the club knowing what he's going to say. Because Conte is a very respectful guy. He's going to tell the club what he's going to say. Or at least Paratici as his sporting director.
Yep. So it's all well and good having footballing guys such as Paratici and Conte there to try and do what they want to do and do what we want them to do. What we're all crying out for. Like I said, we all say this a lot, especially Levy out. People say, whether you Levy out, Levy on the fence, Levy in, all we want is a successful Tottenham Hotspur, a competitive Tottenham Hotspur. That is the main aim and that is the main goal. It's just how do we get there? Yeah. Now, the thing is, these two have come in and are kind of like the Robin Hoods for us, especially Conte. Paratici still kind of uncertain, but on the discussion you and me are having right now, what I would say is we're hoping that's happening. But the thing is, we have someone up above and somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean that don't care about football.
Yeah.
That don't care about football. You know what? If you love architecture and you love building, you can talk about buildings. If someone comes to talk to you about cooking, you're going to lose the interest very, very quickly. And we've gone through so many different combinations of so many different coaches, managers, directors of football, chief scouts, and these combinations can't find the winning formula. Now, we definitely have the winning formula when it comes to the manager. No doubt whatsoever. We have the prime. We have the best manager we will probably ever get to see, like in our lifetimes, like at the peak of his powers, the respect that man has, the CV that man's got of what he's done. Not to mention what former players say about him that have worked with him and won with him, and the passion that he gives on the touchline. He's box office, and you have a director of football who, to this day, I still think is the wrong fit. And the only reason I say the wrong fit is when you look at Tottenham's business model under him, it is identify young talent, buy cheap, turn them into global superstars, and sell for huge profit. That is Louis Campos all day long. Yeah. All day long. That is, if you look in if you said that to someone like at a job or whatever and said, right, find me a director of football that does this, and this, it's him. It's him. But we had to go get Paratici because it's the name, and he was at Juve and he brokered Ronaldo and all these other deals. And the jury's still out with him, with me. I mean, him getting Conte in is a huge part of it. It's a huge move. There's no doubt in my mind on that. We need to see what he's. I mean, there's been rumours saying already he's come out and saying we're going to buy young talent and free contracts in the summer already. And it's, again, we're going back to where we were. This isn't Conte talking. Oh, for crying out. That's my sister. 1 second. But 1 second.
Yeah, so just going back to Brian's comment, I totally agree. Paratici and Conte work well together. They've worked well in the past. Them two know what to do to run a football team. The problem is the third member of this triangle, Mr. Levy. Leopards do not change their spots, as Derek said before. Leopards do not change their spots. He wants to make young talent more money. But if we're going to run this team as a football club, we've got to do what the sporting director and the football people know what they're doing. Levy's not a football man. I've always said, as someone who is Levy out, that Levy does not have to go if he leaves the footballing side of the business to football people and the football team does well. He doesn't have to leave if he does that. Can you see Daniel Levy not meddling in football matters? I can't. And that's why he needs to go. That is why he needs to go in perpetuity, in my opinion. That he will not let other people, he does not delegate. He wants his hands in every single facet of the business, which is fine in my business of me being the only person here in a global football club. And you've got multiple business dealings going at the same time. You cannot have a structure where you employ people to do their job, and when they're about to finish their job, you say, no, we're going to do this now. It's how WWE is run with Vince McMahon. And look how that business is going at the moment. Record low attendance fees, record low TV viewership. Control freakism does not work. It doesn't work. Let Paratici and Conte do their thing and let them fix the footballing side. You can stay at the club if you're only doing the business dealings, the NFL things, the concerts, this, that, the training things, the architecture, the property portfolio. As long as you let football people do their job, then you can stay. Yeah. All of us would agree. I think all of us on the Levy Out Brigade would say you can stay if you leave footballing matters to footballing people. But he will never do that. Never in his life. Everything will have his signature on it.
So the one thing I have to say is, with him moving aside, if it ever happens, apparently he was making all decisions to Paratici, making football decisions this summer. He said it on his own video.
Yeah.
And we've seen how that works. As much as seeing him removed from all footballing aspects and staying away, or allegedly staying away, I just don't believe it will happen. You know what I mean? I just think he'd go away for a little while so people go, oh, look, he's gone and someone else is doing something. But slowly and gradually, I just don't trust him. I don't trust him to tell me the time. So as much as I'd like to see someone come in and maybe if he pissed off to the Bahamas with Joe, and so then maybe, but it's going to take a long, long time of like him relinquishing power and 5 years worth of him not interfering to me even contemplating stepping down from the level I am, because I just don't believe a word he says.
I mean, I totally agree with you, because I think all of us would be in agreement if he left the footballing side of the business and only focused on the money side of the business and let Paratici organise a team, bringing someone in, like, let's say a lot of people say someone like a Moretta. Imagine if Paratici was allowed to bring someone like Moretta in to be his right-hand man with transfers, and they do it. They built the club, and then we would all be fine. We'd be like, okay, as long as you keep your word, we'll be fine with you staying. But he wants, again, as you said, he would somehow find his way to. It's like, again, it's Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon left everything to his creative directors at WWE, but as soon as one of them had a bit of a flip, I was like, no, I'm doing this now. I'm going to fire Triple H, and I'm going to do this. I immediately inserts himself back in, and that is exactly how Daniel Levy runs a business.
Okay, I've just been summoned by my mother again. It's dinner. It's lunchtime, and my nephews are on the way back, Ben. So I'm going to have to leave you right now. But just carry on doing a cracking job that you're doing. You're doing a great job, brother. It was a pleasure to come on with you, mate. And everyone in the chat, have a great day, great evening, wherever you are in the world. John Fitzpatrick, my man, how we doing? And yeah, Ben, you have a great day.
Yeah.
And as always, Levy out. Later, Zaki.
So brilliant to my brother, Mr. Brian Daigle, absolute hero of the channel, hero of the community. We will be going for another 6 minutes because I want to do round numbers. I want to see an hour on the time limit. The sun is already starting to shine in my coffee studio because we've had a great chat. As soon as Brian comes on the show, the sun shines, everyone's happy. The wind has died down. My Christmas tree hasn't fallen over, and it's been a great time. Anthony Gray is saying, we need top 4 this season to attract the top players in the summer. so we can afford to offer them Champions League as what the real players want. Make or break is scraping top 4. We will see. I mean, if the club put the money where the mouth is, it's not like this club does not have money. This club has plenty of money. It just does not wish to spend it. Yeah, we'll have to pay players a bit more than what they actually worth. But that's the only way it can... Chelsea, prime example. Were players saying no to Chelsea when they weren't in the top 4, when they were finishing 10th? No, because they're getting paid shit tons of money. And they immediately went back into the Champions League the season afterwards because they got those players. We need to stop making excuses that they don't come because we're in the Champions League. They're not coming because we're not paying them the money. That is the reason they're not coming. That is the reason. That is totally the reason why they're not coming, because we're not going out of our way to get the players that we need. Anthony's also saying, I can't understand why Levy didn't insure more players in earlier during January, as I'm sure Levy knows the money and the top players with Champions League. He panics, basically. It was Levy 101. Draw out deals as long as possible to get the best price and then the deal fall through. It was Levy. All him. It was all him. No one can tell me any differently. So, yeah, he panicked at the end of the day. He saw that the fans were starting to grumble. There were people outside the training ground. And he panicked. And he let Paratici do what he wants. But as Brian said earlier, how long is that going to last for? Letting Paratici do what he needs to do as the director of football? Only time will tell. I am very worried, as I always am. But that's called Jewish insecurity right there. But we're going to head on for that. But brilliant comment as always, Anthony. Always great to see you in the chat. Always bring brilliant, insights into the way this club's run. Going on to Saturday, as I've said before, it's going to be like the Battle of the Somme. It's going to be like the Mary Rose going down. It's going to be very worrying. It's obviously, we hope at the end of the day that Tottenham turn up and they prove us all wrong. But at the end of the day, everything, they've proven us right time and time again. Every single bit of time this year, they've proven us right. And it's a real shame. They keep on proving us right. I don't know what to say other than that. Before we go, because we are going to wrap up the stream right now, in terms of, because I've got nothing else to say really. So we're going to say thank you to all the people that have come on this morning. You've made my life a lot easier with all your comments being on my own. Mr. Anthony Gray, thank you as always. Mr. John Fitzpatrick, Mr. Celery Agent, Atavacron Wembley 1, lovely to see you. Stephen Cartwright, Derek Hutchinson, Wayne Bonner, Mr. Brian Daigle, who joined the chat as well. Mr. Graham, lovely to see you as always. Stevie Cartwright, if I didn't say your name already. Andrew, John Fitzpatrick. It's a very worrying time, but at least we've got each other. Anthony's saying, see you later for coffee. I will be on the coffee stream later, and I might as well whilst I think I've earned the right to be able to share my own channel on this thing. So that is what we're going to do. It gives me something to do for 20 seconds to make sure we hit the hour mark. So yes, you will all find me on the coffee company later. You will find me on my coffee show later. The channel is going to be in the description here. We will be making some Chemex, which is what this is. I've already been trying one out this morning. And we should be having some chat. It's going to be a very chill afternoon for me. We're going to do some things preparing for my synagogue service on Sunday. It's going to be fun. Let's have a conversation. We're going to be playing a very Tottenham way on Saturday. Yes, we are. Stephen Cartwright saying, thanks, Ben. Thanks for joining, Stevie. Let's have a conversation. Cheers, Ben. Quality show today. You're a fine solo pilot. That's all I can hope for, really. Hopefully I did myself proud and the rest of the guys on the channel proud. But thank you all so much for joining. It's been an honour to spend this morning with you. And we will see you tomorrow. And as always, in the words of Brian Daigle, Levy out. Come on, you Spurs, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.